historic performance from a transcendent player. Victor Wembanyama became the youngest player ever to have a 40-point, 20-rebound performance in a playoff game and led his young Spurs to a double overtime win against the defending champs. And tonight, we will see what they have in the sequel as we get you set for round 2 of the Western Conference Finals with the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder from the Paycom Center. And welcome back courtside, Maria Taylor, alongside the Hall of Famers, Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. Vince, thank you for joining us here.
I'm back.
Yes. Were you jealous watching us?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. That's why I had to come back.
Honestly.
And I was jealous of the game that you guys got to witness.
Okay.
I wasn't missing this one.
Yes, it was certainly a historic performance, something that we have never seen before, and it was highlighted by Victor Wembanyama. It was the will, it was the poise, it was everything he was able to do, T-Mac, to make sure that they got a victory in Game 1.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? Like, what is the game plan for this guy? And for me, it's just, you have to put bodies on him. And tonight, it has to be Chet, because this is not going to cut it. I know Chet being off of him, right, trying to come and be a protector once he gets to the basket, but he has to be that primary defender because he's too big, too long, and he's finishing at the basket. When you talk about 26 of his 41 points are in the paint, are you serious? We need Chet to really alleviate a lot of that. Right here, it's just throwing the ball over the top because they played these guys so many times. They know how to hit, you know, those counters, and they did a great job of that in the first game. I suspect that Mark does a great job in tonight's game to have a game plan to where they have bodies playing behind him and not in front of him, because you try to put bodies in front of him, they're just going to lob it up, and he's finishing at the rim. So I look to see a heavy dose of Chet on him in this game, yes.
We only saw about 3 minutes of Chet being the primary defender in Game 1. You like that idea, though?
I love the idea. I mean, he should be taking on that challenge. This is the elephant in the room. This has been the headlines all season long. Chet Wemby. He's one of the few players in this league who is 7 foot, who can put the ball on the floor, who can shoot the tray, who can play defense. You have to challenge Wemby. You have to just show some type of physical presence against Wemby. You may not win the matchup, but you got to compete. And if you compete, you give yourself a chance to go out there and get the 15 to 18 points that your team really needs to beat OKC. And if you get 15 to 18 points, you have a chance to win this game. And that's the player that OKC is banking on. Caruso did what he was supposed to do off the bench. Shai is Shai. Jay, you know, welcome back, you know, to J-Dub. Now Chet is on you right now. Game 2. I'm putting this game on Chet to take the challenge, keep Wemby off the backboard, put him on the floor a little bit, make him taste the pain a little bit. Okay. We got to rough this up a little bit out here for Chet.
But this is what we talked about last game, right? We talked about how the others was going to really cancel each other out.
Yes.
But the glaring matchup was Chet versus Wemby, right? And we saying you don't have to live up to 41 and 24.
No.
You don't have to live up to that, but you do have to compete at the highest level to be the best version of yourself and take on that challenge, right? That's what we want to see.
Yeah, and remember, Chet only 8 points in that Game 1 at halftime. Remember, he only had 1 field goal, so we'll see. Only averaged about 10 points per game during the regular season against the San Antonio Spurs. You brought up Alex Caruso. Let's get into it. Off the bench, 31 points, a playoff career high. They needed every single one of them and also knocked down 8 threes in that one.
Yeah, but let's understand, 29% in the regular season, 38 in the playoffs, 4 corner threes made in this game, 8 total, like you said, but he takes the challenge defensively. Wemby, like we talked about earlier, tends to stand up straight. Well, Caruso takes advantage of it, not just gets the steal, but the easy layup. Let's talk about defensive-minded again in the pick and roll. He has a tough matchup, but his willingness to still go help and block shots. And that's just the defensive side. Now let's talk about the offensive side. His awareness, knowing we want to put Wemby in the situation because he's a big. He wants to help. Well, I have to knock down threes. Like I said, 38% for the playoffs, 4 corner threes made. There's one there. And here's another opportunity to now take advantage of. I can hit threes, but now I have Wemby. I'm going to take him off the dribble, and I'm going to body him and get into the paint and say, ref, call the foul because I'm driving on the big fella.
I love it, and I love that you showed Alex Caruso really the primary defender against Wemby, so much of what he was taking on was defensive and offensively. So if Alex Caruso did what he has done so well so far in this playoffs, who is the next person to step up? We saw a little bit less of A.J. Mitchell because J-Dub was back into the game. Like, what do we need to see more of for OKC?
Well, we need a heavy dose, heavy diet of J. Will.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's what it's going to have to be. Me and Mel was talking about that before this. J. Will is going to have to do that to relieve that pressure off of SGA. Why? Because he has the ability to get in the paint and make things happen, not only for himself, but to make plays as well, right? And he also can get to his mid-range. He has the body, he has the strength to shoot over the defender and to finish at the basket. So I look for this to be a heavy diet of J-Dub tonight and take some of that pressure off of SGA.
Yeah, 26 points for J-Dub in game 1. And remember, he had missed the previous 26 days dealing with the hamstring injury. They needed him maybe a little bit more than they really wanted to rely on him in that game 1. Meanwhile, for SGA, let's talk about him. He said it wasn't his best performance, but he's got to stay true to who he is. Who is he? Who does he need to be tonight?
He just need to be Shai. He need to be the back-to-back MVP. This is what we know Shai to be. He talk about passing the test and taking on the test all season long. This was a test that he haven't seen. Game 1 was a test he haven't seen. Game 2, I want to see how Shai react and respond to game 1, to that performance, not by him, but by his team. I also want to see OKC play through J-Dub as the first option today. I know that sounds crazy, but you got to take Shai off the ball. You got to move Shai around. You can't keep giving him the same look. Let J-Dub create. Let him get in the paint. Let him make the plays that he need to make. And let him feel like this is what I'm going to do to bring my value to this team in game 2.
Yeah, interesting. We saw Shai turn the ball over 4 times. We're not used to seeing that. He had the worst plus-minus on the team, minus 15 in game 1. We know we're not going to see that repeatedly from a guy who's a two-time MVP. So he's got it out of his system in game 1. All right, last night, another unforgettable game 1. This time, in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavs led by 22 points in the 4th quarter. Then came Jalen Brunson, led the Knicks rally. He scored 15 points in the 4th quarter. New York closed regulation on a 30-8 run. I'm not making that up. They forced overtime, then dominated the extra period to take a 1-0 series lead. Now, including OT, the Knicks finished the game on a 44-11 run. I know, right? Brunson outscored the Cavs on his own down the stretch with 17 points. The Knicks won their 8th straight playoff game. That extends a franchise record. And Jordan Cornette, he's covering the Eastern Conference Finals for NBA Showtime. After a tough loss for the Cavs, he did get a chance to speak with Cleveland's Max Strus earlier today.
Max, it's a new day coming off that tough loss a night ago. What's been the mood around this team?
On to the next day. You live and you learn. Obviously, a bad feeling in our stomach, but no better way than to take it out in the next game and try to win the next game on Thursday.
Jalen Brunson was a force game 1. Defensively, how do you guys adjust there?
Yeah, obviously he's one of the best players in the league. He got in a rhythm. He pulled them back in the game by himself, and we got to figure out a way to stop it. So I made some adjustments today, and we'll go into game 2 looking to use those and try to make it tough for them.
Last night was your 15th playoff game for this group this postseason. Was there any chance that fatigue played a role late stages last night?
No, I don't think so. I just think we didn't execute well at the end. We didn't get stops when we needed to, and that's what the game comes down to. You got to get stops in the most important times, and I think we stopped executing offensively and stopped getting good shots on goal, and the game just got away from us.
Game 1 in any playoff series is a feel-out game. What was the biggest discovery after that first game?
I think we played 3.5 good quarters. We played solid basketball. We were up by 20. Obviously, you never want to lose a game like that, but you could find positives out of that, of what worked and things that we did that worked. So trying to build off of those and find momentum and encouraging things that we did in that game to build off of for the next one.
In order to even this thing out, what's it going to take?
Find a way to keep executing. It's the playoffs. It's a grind. Every game's going to bring a new challenge. Got to be ready for it night in, night out, and got to get stops. That's the name of the game. Defense wins championships. It sounds corny, but got to figure out a way to get stops and defend at a high level and keep executing.
All right, well, for the first time in NBA history, Game 1 of both the East and Western Conference Finals went to overtime. The Eastern Conference Finals will continue tomorrow with Game 2 from MSG at 8 Eastern on ESPN. The Knicks look to stay hot and get one step closer to their first NBA Finals appearance since 1999. Meanwhile, the Cavs trying to pick up the pieces after letting that Game 1 slip away, as you heard from Max Strus. All right, it's time for our AT&T memorable moments of the day. We got to keep the Knicks fans in check. We're going to bring them back down.
This is what happens.
Back down to earth.
The Knicks get going, you want to show something that takes away from the.
But what happened,
That ain't it.
Melo?
Go tell Spike to sit down.
You couldn't do nothing about that.
Game 6, 1994, East Simmies, Bulls Knicks. Scottie Pippen was like, okay.
Yeah, Scottie tried to disrespect Beast, but Beast wasn't going for that. He got dunked on. It happened to the best. It happened to the greatest.
Okay.
DC, you ever got dunked on?
Yes. We all been dunked on.
Thank you. No one can raise
Sometimes you
their
got to
hand.
go dunk on a big man.
All right, let's take a look at Melo's star player parlay on DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, what do we need, Melo?
Listen, the odds are actually lower tonight than normal, so that means I'm very confident. But we got Wemby, 25 points.
Yes.
He's averaged 22 in the playoffs and just put up 41. The numbers, he gonna get that on a bad night. Devin Vassell, 2 threes.